I am Chris Ruden, and this is the life I live. I was born with 2 fingers on my left hand and a shorter left arm. I didn't grow up to rich parents. I didn't grow up in a nice neighborhood. I grew up being known as the disabled kid. Do you know some of the synonyms for disabled? Weak, broken, useless, helpless. Can you imagine being a kid growing up thinking that about yourself? As other kids made fun of you for the way you were born, something you couldn't control? That killed me growing up. And it wasn't until I realized you can only do the best with what you got where you are that I made a change. It took me a long time, but once I realized that, I realized my life was a choice. My success, and equally my failure, was a choice. My happiness, my depression, everything in my life was my choice, no one else's.
We will get you on this show, talk about your dreams, aspirations, goals, whatever you want to discuss that's going to help somebody get better. How's it going, guys? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Unlimited Power. Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you guys Chris Ruden. Ruden, right? That's how you say it?
Yes.
Ruden. I don't like messing people's names.
It's all good.
I don't like messing people's bios. And I certainly don't like messing people's lives.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. That's not good. We try to make people's lives better. That's why I'm bringing Chris here, to make your life better. So going back into the fitness side, how did you build such, physique, regardless of the setbacks, regardless of whatever happened to you?
So, the way I was born, obviously it limits certain movements. I can't rotate. It's called supination pronating. I can't rotate at my elbow, but I can rotate at my shoulder. I first got into drumming. That was the first thing I got into, which is the reason why I wear the glove. I stick a drumstick through the finger hole, and I learned to play drums. I played drums for 4 years competitively on my drum line. That was awesome. I got bored with it. Then I took up dance, learned how to break dance and do hip hop, ended up teaching some classes at a local dance studio, got bored with it. I tried to take on so many different things that I wanted to master just to kind of prove to myself that I could, It wasn't until I got into fitness right around the time I was diagnosed with diabetes. At 19 years old, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, a chronic illness that would never leave me. But I was ready. I was like, this is an extremely hard goal because it's going to take a long time, and everyone told me I couldn't because the goal in bodybuilding was symmetry. I am not symmetrical, physiologically speaking. Like, no matter what I do, I won't be perfectly symmetrical. I took that as a challenge, So I learned how to adapt. I use a hook on my hand, and I lift weights. I got into powerlifting, and recently I set a world record, being the strongest disabled powerlifter. I hit 655 pounds with one hand, at 190 pounds. So
Doing what exercise?
Deadlift.
Oh,
Deadlift.
wow.
I did that in front of 20,000 people at the Arnold last year.
Wow.
This year. It's pretty sick. It was an awesome feat for me, and now I'm on to the next venture. But I had to work around the troubles. Everyone has their troubles. Like, you had your troubles growing up. You have your troubles growing up. Everyone has a struggle. Mine happens to be a disability. Yours could be emotional. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Financial. For me, anytime I deadlifted over 500 pounds, I would bleed. My wrist would bleed because of the pressure.
Wow.
Something I had to deal with, It's life. Everyone has something. Who am I to say, oh, poor me? No one cares about my excuse. In the gym, people were working just as hard as I was, so I needed to work harder and do different things more so I could build more symmetry. I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I'm not spending 2 or 3 hours in there drinking protein shakes in the squat rack while I'm bicep curling and being a douchebag, bro. You know, I'm really trying to do best for myself.
When the sun rises, I wake up and chase my dreams. I won't regret when the sun sets, 'cause I live my life like I'm a beast. I'm a motherfucking beast.
I was told my whole life that I couldn't really do much. And years, time. Nothing will beat time and consistency. Nothing. No pill, no network marketing, no YouTube video that you watched from the latest YouTuber who's killing the game. Like, nothing will beat time and consistency.
Yeah.
That's how I got to where I am now.
That's the way it goes.
That's it.
And so you've literally had blood, sweat, and tears for this.
Like, yeah, multiple times, man.
And then you have people every day undervaluing what you're doing, saying, okay, you got this because of this, but they never see the work you put in and day out to get to where you are now. And what pushes you forward, you know? What pushes you forward?
Two things. Michael Jordan said, I hate losing more than I love winning. Definitely one of my like driving, you know, little quotes I actually like that aren't stupid. I love that concept. But honestly, my main driver is knowing that every obstacle I turn into an opportunity, every wall I turn into a door, there's a kid watching somewhere.
Right.
That's motivated by that. That's going to think he's better. That's going to think he's good enough. You know, it's going to turn that switch on that goes, oh, people make fun of me, so I must be, you know, a piece of crap, to he can do it, I think I can do it now too. If he can do it, I can.
Yeah.
That's my motivation. Every single day.
And I think that's the greatest motivation. That's the greatest, and it's not even in a cynical way. It's not even in a, oh, I feel good about myself because of this. It's just, it's like, I think that's our energy, that's our purpose. And I don't, whether you're religious or not, the Bible says, do unto others as you would like to be done unto yourself. Or put others first. Or all those quotes matter so much, because at the end of the day, it's all about serving other people. Because this is helping somebody, right? So, and that's why I do it. And I think that's the important thing.
100%.
I turned that obstacle into my biggest opportunity. I went to school for exercise science. I built a business based on my disability, based on my disease, to help other people. My motivation is being that role model for someone struggling. I want them to see me and know that it's possible. I want them to see what I do and learn how to overcome their struggle. And because of that, I'll never quit.
Your why, your driving factor. I'm gonna throw out there that motivation means nothing.
Yeah.
Like, motivation means absolutely nothing. It does nothing for anyone but makes them feel good for a few seconds. You know, motivation without willingness equals sedentary.
Yeah.
You know, so your driving factor, for me, it's not an option. Like, people are like, oh, why are you motivated? Why do you choose to do? I don't have a choice, because if I don't do this, that one kid who is like this close away from either taking his life, or this close away from feeling like crap about himself, or this close away from living a life that I lived growing up, that's not an option. That's not an option for me. If your reason is big enough, you'll never quit. You'll never take an off day that you don't need. You know, like a parent would do anything for their kid. It's not optional to take care of their kids. If you find that reason, you can't fail. You can't fail, because if you do fail, I failed dozens and dozens and dozens of times. The gym has taught me how to fail.
Yeah.
Business has taught me how to fail.
Yeah.
Losing money, all this stuff. It's a step. You know, it's only really failure if you stop. You know, so I'll continue to go. I'll continue to fail.
Right.
That's life.
I recall you said motivation is nothing. I think there's the difference between motivation and self-programming. It's like addiction occurs when you walk down a pathway. There's a grass, and you're walking down. Every day you walk down that path over and over. What you're doing, you're creating a pathway. Sooner or later, the grass is no more. It's a pathway. And that same pathway goes into programming your mind. what you have to do is consistently waking up every day. It's not being motivated for an hour or a minute, because that's temporary, most definitely. But self-programming entails you waking up every day, getting in that mentality right off the bat. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is not check go on Snapchat and scroll through the feed. I understand when people don't watch my Snap in the morning. I'm like, great, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It's about doing that habit, those routines. Like, what are you gonna do 4 a.m.? Like, I wake up 4 a.m. If I don't run early at 4, I kind of feel disappointed today, you know? Right now, I talked to you, I was like, I run every morning. I was like, oh, I didn't run this morning.
But at least you're being real with
Exactly, right?
Important.
You know what I mean? So, self-programming, what are you doing every day to get to what you need to be, even though if it's like little steps, you know?
You know, most people want to be a business owner or an entrepreneur without having the value. They want the life of someone with value, but they don't have the value. How? You know, build the value first. You have to have something to give. If you don't have anything to give, you're just trying to take. And if you're a taker, you won't make it.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen.
Probably
Build your social media platform, follow your consumer, target them, and help them. You will be successful if you do those. 100%. You know, people don't like to work. And you said something to me before the show started. You have to be motivated to do something.
Yeah.
I don't care how many motivational videos you watch. I don't care how many episodes of Ask Gary V or MFCEO you listen to. If you do nothing, you'll have nothing. If you do something, you might still have nothing, but you have a lot bigger chance of getting something. That's what I did. You know, I worked and I put my head down and I spent years, like over 7 years, building a body, building a career, building a social media platform to allow me to influence people. Years, you know? And people will message me and be like, hey, I want to do this in the next like 2 weeks. How can I do this? So you want to do what I did in years in 2 weeks.
Right.
That's nice. I'll be handing you that $1 million much quicker than they'll be getting to that result.
Simple steps to success.
Very simple.
Sounds simple, but it takes work.
We just didn't talk about the time that it takes.
Yeah.
You know?
So success is simplicity over a long periods of time.
100%. I really like that. Where people go wrong is they say, oh, it's going to take 3 years. Oh, it's going to take a year. Oh, it's going to take 5 years. I don't want to do that. 5 years from now, you're going to look back to this moment and be like, damn, I should have started 5 years ago. I would have been there then. Now you're 10 years behind because 5 years was too long. Start yesterday. And today, I have the pleasure of introducing Chris Ruden to the show. And that was just an amazing interview, guys. And I'm gonna let Chris tell you how you can follow his social media platforms and everything about what he does, his business, and it's on you. Thank you very much. As I said, my name is Chris Ruden. You can go to my website, chrisruden.com, or follow me on Instagram at Chris Ruden, or on Facebook, Chris Ruden Official, also YouTube, Chris Ruden. And I'm the best motivational diabetic disabled speaker, powerlifter, and online coach. You know.
All right, there we have it.
Yeah. Good
My
stuff.
man, good stuff. If you want one of these books here, you can have one.
I have a library.
I know, just nice having you. That was really good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, it was really
I
fun.
like that. Very natural.
Very natural. That's why I like to keep things natural.
I like to be honest. Maybe I have to read off like questions.
Yeah, it's just, I hate questions. I've never had questions on my show.
Good, you don't need to.
Never
And
wrote
if
it
you
down.
do, just don't give them to the people.
Yeah, I've never wrote them down, given them. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video.